In a world full of mysterious puzzles and stories that transcend time and space, some incidents remain in the mind due to their strangeness and difficulty in solving their mysteries. Among those incidents that have puzzled investigators and fascinated researchers for decades, the Box child crime is one of the most prominent mysteries that humanity has faced. In 1957, the body of a young child was found inside a cardboard box in an isolated forest near Philadelphia. The crime was horrific by all standards, not only because it reflects a tragic scene, but because it left behind a series of questions that have not been answered to this day. Who is the child? Who is responsible for killing him? And why did any evidence of his identity or his family disappear? This story is not just a tale of an individual tragedy, but rather a narration of a human journey full of mystery and strenuous attempts to uncover the truth in the face of silence and shadows. On February 25, 1957, a young man named Frank Gaffney was searching for animal traps in a deserted area filled with dense trees. As he walked through the dead branches, a medium-sized cardboard box lying on the side of the dirt road caught his attention. He approached with hesitant steps and a curious but anxious look, and when he opened the box, the sight was shocking. The body of a small child wrapped in a tattered blanket. The child was naked except for the blanket, and his features indicated that he was between 4 and 6 years old. His hair was neatly trimmed, but it appeared that it had been cut after his death, as strands of hair were found scattered over his body. The child's body appeared emaciated and showed signs of malnutrition and mysterious bruises. When the police arrived at the scene, they immediately began investigating. Fingerprints were taken, and nearby footprints were investigated, but there were no clear leads. It appeared that the body had not been there for long, perhaps only a few days. The box itself was labeled Local Furniture Company, which gave police a small lead to investigate. The autopsy confirmed that the child had died from a blunt force trauma to the head, and that there were signs of prolonged torture and abuse. There were no signs of sexual assault, but the cuts and bruises on his body suggested that he had been neglected and abused for a long time before his death. Even more bizarre was that the child was not registered in any missing persons database. Local or national reports had not shown any reports of a child with similar characteristics. This detail was so confusing that investigators wondered, how could a child disappear without anyone looking for him? The box. Police traced the origin of the box, which turned out to have originally contained a clothes dryer. The appliance was sold to a nearby store, but after following up on all potential buyers, the investigation reached a dead end. The blanket. Police examined the blanket closely, and it was made of very common materials, making it difficult to trace its origin. It had no distinguishing marks or symbols. The haircut. Strands of hair were found scattered on the child's body and in the box, adding to the mystery. Investigations showed that the hair had been cut in a hurry, which could indicate an attempt to dispose of evidence. As official investigations failed, conspiracy theories began to circulate, each with its own share of mystery. Bastard child. Some investigators assumed that the child may have been the victim of an illicit relationship and was disposed of to hide the scandal. This theory was strengthened after it was discovered that the area where the body was found was close to a local orphanage where children were sometimes abandoned. Secret cults. Some suggested that the child was the victim of a mysterious ritual conducted by a secret cult. The absence of anyone claiming to know the child added to the strength of this theory. Family neglect. Some evidence suggested that the child may have been living in poverty and neglect. But why did no one claim to know his identity? Over the next decades, many amateur and professional investigators tried to solve the case. Modern technology such as DNA testing was used in the early 21st century, but the true identity of the child was never revealed. An investigation team even reconstructed the child's face using digital imaging techniques, but to no avail. In 2022, with the development of DNA analysis techniques and their integration with genealogical databases, new clues were found. DNA analysis revealed that the child belonged to a family in Pennsylvania, and distant relatives were identified. However, there was no direct information about the parents or how he ended up in the box. Despite the slow progress in the case, there are still unanswered questions. Who killed the child? Why? And how could a child disappear from sight without anyone missing him? The story of the child in the box is not just a criminal mystery. It is a testament to the complexity of human nature and how difficult it is to achieve justice in the absence of sufficient evidence. Despite the passage of 65 years, the case continues to fascinate researchers and investigators, making it one of the most mysterious mysteries in history.